Alrighty, hello. Good evening. Welcome back to the Law Entrance YouTube channel and to another session of the Hindu analysis. Today is 11th of August, Tuesday. We are live. I hope I'm audible and visible to everyone. Please give me a quick yes in the chat if I'm audible and visible. Quick yes in the chat, please. If audio is fine, video is fine. I'm on a slightly slower network today, but it should be manageable because the network is stable. Pratyush is here. Animal fun fact. Amoeboids have the insane ability of shifting their organs at will to avoid hurting their internals. All right, that's nice. Name or money? Name follows. Money follows. Acha, okay, that's that meme which is trending these days. All right. What else is happening in the chat box? Charu is here. Good evening. Devika is here. Good evening. Shri is here. Menti topic is current affairs on Friday. Charmi is here. Pratyush is here. Rama is here. Okay. Who else is here? Siddhi is here. Rishik is here. Advait is here. Piyush is here. Chandra is here. ठीक है. Parth is also here. Shaurya is also here. ठीक है. Awesome. Good evening to everyone who is on the stream. Mahika has also joined. Good evening. Very warm welcome to all of you. सर आज मैंने अपने स्कूल में पहली बार स्कूल में इलेक्शन हार गया सिर्फ 7 वोट से. ओह दैट्स अनफॉर्चुनेट. कोई बात, हैपेंस. अगला जीत जाना. मेरी जिंदगी के हार का सिलसिला कब खत्म होगा? मॉक्स में जीत रहे हो ना आप, उतना काफी है अभी के लिए. यू आर विनिंग एट द क्लैट मॉक्स, दैट्स गुड इनफ. Anna is here. Good evening. All right, Pratyush Singh, I'll teach you all how to LARP Hindu analysis. What does that mean? Okay, ठीक है. कैसे हैं सब लोग? How is everyone doing? I hope prep is going fine, mocks are going fine, sectionals are going fine. आप में से काफ़ी सारे लोगों ने मुझे emails लिखे थे. I had around 7 to 8 emails which I responded to today in the evening. तो सबको उनके emails के responses मिल गए हैं. अगर कोई रह गया है बाय चांस, वैसे तो नहीं रह गया होगा, बट अगर कोई रह गया है बाय चांस तो प्लीज एक रिमाइंडर ईमेल डाल के बम्प अप कर दो ईमेल को. वैसे आई हैव आंसर्ड ऑल द ईमेल्स. ठीक है. रिशांत हैज रिसीव्ड द रिप्लाई. गुड इवनिंग रिशांत. ठीक है. गुड इवनिंग हरसिमरत. वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू एवरीवन. चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं आज का डिस्कशन. बिफोर वी स्टार्ट, टू इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स व्हिच आई वांट टू टेल यू गाइस टुडे. फर्स्ट इज दैट just after this session, we have a strategy session where we'll discuss AILET strategy. So if you are attempting or planning to attempt the AILET exam, that would be helpful. You can ask all your questions. I'll answer all your questions. Apart from that, on Friday, we have the Menti quiz on current affairs for the month of July. So I want all of you guys to be there on Friday. Apart from that, tomorrow we have the first session in our new series which I am starting for logical reasoning. So tomorrow would be more of an introductory class in the sense that we would talk about logical reasoning and what are the important topics. We'll talk about what is the strategy to approach the subject. We'll talk about what is the best and most efficient way to tackle those questions. What are the tricks and tips to eliminate options. So kind of an introductory class, and would be more helpful for people who are starting out or have started out in the past couple of months. Can also be helpful to those who are struggling with logical reasoning. If you are very good at logical reasoning, if you are scoring fantastically well in logical reasoning, you might consider skipping the class tomorrow and can join from the next week's class. This would be a weekly affair every Wednesday 5:30 p.m. on this YouTube channel itself. Obviously free to join for everyone else. And yeah, it would be great if you are able to participate. These would be shorter classes, around 30, 40, maximum 45 minutes, where we would be not just discussing theoretical concepts, but also solving questions simultaneously. So that would be something new. Apart from that, you can, of course, ask your doubts and questions related to the subject in that particular session. एंड नेक्स्ट वीक से हम लोग फिर टॉपिक वाइज एक एक टॉपिक करके उसके क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, assumptions, कंक्लूजन, इन्फ्रेंसेस, एंड आगे चल के मैं आपको एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग भी थोड़ी सी करा दूंगा प्रैक्टिस अपने एंड से, ठीक है। So these were some updates which I wanted to convey. एक बार chat देख लेते हैं, then let's start today's discussion. Am I saying, sir, you write very efficient and helpful emails. Thank you so much. कभी कभी टाइम लग जाता है रिस्पॉन्ड करने में, बट आई ट्राई टू इंश्योर दैट आई आंसर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली. That's great to know, Charmi. Okay, okay, okay. Swaroop is saying got 93.75 in the previous mock attempted. क्या बात है यार, congratulations. Super happy for you. Keep up the spirit. Next mock में 95 breach करना है. Good evening, Ashiket. New series, could you repeat again? I was talking about logical reasoning. Logical reasoning की series start कर रहा हूँ. Starting with critical reasoning, then we'll also move to analytical reasoning in due course of time. Every Wednesday 5:30 p.m. ठीक है, बस इतना ही important है आप लोगों के लिए. Wednesday को 5:30 p.m. live on the YouTube channel itself. यार अबाउट मैथ सेशन मैंने टीम को कन्वे किया है, दे आर इन टच विद द मैथ फैकल्टी. सो जब मैथ वाले सर का स्केड्यूल थोड़ा सा फ्री अप होगा, he'll probably schedule a series for you guys as well. But मैं एक और रिमाइंडर दे दूंगा, ठीक है. I'll convey that you guys are asking for a quant series. मुझे आती होती तो मैं खुद ही पढ़ा देता, बट मुझे उतनी अच्छे से नहीं आती है क्वांट, और मैं सीखना भी नहीं चाहता हूँ. तो एज आई सेड यस्टरडे कि मैथ से मेरा जो सिचुएशनशिप था वो क्लैट के दौरान ही खत्म हो गया. अब हमारा कोई दूर दूर तक नाता नहीं है, और मैं चाहता भी नहीं हूँ. अब मुझे अगर 35 प्लस 45 भी करना होता है तो तुरंत मैं अपने फ़ोन के कैलकुलेटर से कर लेता हूँ. नॉट दैट आई कैन डू इट मैनुअली, आई कैन डू इट, बट आई एम अ लिटिल broken mathematically, so it's okay. I compensate for it by being fantastically superb at the other four subjects. ठीक है. All right. Anuruddh is saying, good evening, sir. Got your reply. Thanks a lot for being my mentor and toughest. And Arre, don't mention it anytime, brother. प्रज्वल सिंह, सर आज या कल मैं आपको मेल करूंगा, बहुत असमंजस में हूँ. अरे बाप रे, बिल्कुल सॉल्व करते हैं आपका असमंजस. प्लीज सेंड योर आईडी, आई विल सेंड इट. चारू जी कुछ तो भेज रहे हैं किसी को, ठीक है. Alright, 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 alright. I'm on that group CLAT 27. My name is Millie. Yes, I keep forgetting your name, Millie. भूल जाता हूँ मैं. चंद्रा एक्लिप्स आपका यूजर नेम बढ़िया लगता है मुझे. ठीक है, चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं आज का डिस्कशन. बहुत बातचीत हो गई, लेट्स गो. 8:45 पे हमें दूसरा सेशन भी स्टार्ट करना है, सो विल गो अ लिटिल फास्ट टुडे. Today's article has different interesting kind of articles, not very specific to CLAT, but regardless, interesting articles. All three of them are editorials, I believe. One is regarding the prevalence and the spread of English language in our country, in India. So interesting perspectives in that article. Then, of course, there's a factual one regarding the earthquake in Colombia, Bogota, which is the capital. And then we have an editorial about international law, whether it's still relevant or not. International law is a subject which you'll also study in law school extensively. It's a compulsory subject in law school. And it becomes even more pertinent looking at how things are going currently from a geopolitical POV. So we'll talk about international law to a little bit of extent. And then, of course, 3 new vocab words, like always. Apart from that, 6 to 8 articles on the newspaper. Let's start. Let's get going. Let's go to the newspaper right away, folks. Let's just hope आज network थोड़ा stable रहे. Phone hotspot पे हूँ आज मैं. Traveling. Yet to find a place for myself in this new city. I'm still house hunting. Most likely मिल जाएगा कल परसों तक घर मुझे. Don't want to compromise on the quality. ठीक है, न्यूज़पेपर पे चलते हैं. आई थिंक द न्यूज़पेपर शुड नाउ बी विजिबल टू एवरीवन. प्लीज गिव मी अ यस इफ द न्यूज़पेपर इज विजिबल. मिली सेइंग, सर दिल तोड़ दिया. अरे आई एम सो सॉरी. अब मैं याद रखूंगा आपका नाम. अब आपने मुझे ताना मार दिया ना, तब मुझे याद रहेगा. गुड इवनिंग देव. वेयर हैव यू शिफ्टेड? शिफ्टेड तो नहीं कह सकते, टेम्पररीली रिलोकेटेड कह लो. आई एम currently in ऋषिकेश उत्तराखंड. So देखते हैं, थोड़ा योगा वोगा करेंगे यहाँ पे योग नगरी में. Let's see how the city treats me. अभी तो it's been a couple of days since I moved here. इससे पहले I was close to नैनीताल, फिर वहाँ से मैं बोर हो गया, फिर घर चला गया, फिर घर पे बोर हो गया, फिर ऋषिकेश आ गया. अब देखो ऋषिकेश कैसा रहता है, we'll find out. अभी आई एम लुकिंग एट couple of places to stay, मतलब लॉन्ग टर्म मंथली रेंटल ढूंढ रहा हूँ मैं अपने लिए. देखते हैं. Explored a few properties yesterday. We'll explore a few tomorrow. We'll finalize something. What does Mecca agreement mean for Bharat? Can you repeat in short what delimitation means? Ramaji is asking. ठीक है, तो मक्का agreement जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है context, this is a defense agreement, collective defense agreement between Pakistan, Saudi and Turkey or Turkey. And it's essentially like NATO, where if any country out of these three is attacked, all three of them would treat the attacker as their enemy. And what it means for India is that India has to be a little more cautious with respect to Pakistan, because if a skirmish happens with Pakistan, like what happened before Operation Sindoor or during Operation Sindoor, that could mean a little bit of aberration in our bilateral relationships with Saudi Arabia, which is a close ally as of now. Turkey is not really that close of an ally because Turkey has always been more inclined towards supporting Pakistan. Even during Op Sindoor, Turkey supported Pakistan. But Saudi is a country from where we import a lot of our crude oil. So Saudi is important for us. So yes, we have to tread carefully with respect to how we navigate the whole Pakistan situation. Turkey does not really matter a lot for us, and Saudi, we need to ensure that we are even better in terms of our bilateral relationships with them, so that we have a leverage over the other two countries over there, so that Saudi can at least take a stand for us if push comes to shove. And yeah, it would be interesting to see what exactly are the ramifications in the longer term. But for now, not a lot of immediate consequences, you could say. Time would tell. Delimitation is very simple. Delimitation is simply redrawing the boundaries of a constituency. Now, what is a constituency? Constituency is simply a area, a physical geographical area where a particular population resides in a particular district. So in a district, in a larger district, there could be multiple constituencies. So for example, my hometown is Bareilly. There are 9 constituencies in Bareilly. So Bareilly Cant is one, Bareilly City is one, Bareilly Sadar is one, then nearby adjoining areas, etc., etc. So there are 9 constituencies. What that essentially means is there are 9 representatives in the state assembly which represent my particular district. Now, what delimitation does is, based on the census data, based on the numbers which we get in census, usually population increases. If population increases, the government might think that, okay, earlier 9 people used to represent my hometown Bareilly. Now the population has become, let's say, 1.5x. So now 13 people, let's say, for example, should represent my city. So 4 more additional representatives, 4 more additional MLAs/MPs, depending on where they are going. And that essentially is what delimitation is, which means redrawing the constitutional boundaries of that particular area based on the increase in population, so that the number of representatives usually increase or decrease depending on the population being increasing or decreasing. So इस वजह से South Indian states are not very happy because उनकी population उस प्रोपोर्शन में नहीं बढ़ी है जितनी नॉर्थ इंडियन स्टेट्स की बढ़ी है. नॉर्थ इंडियन स्टेट्स में क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा बढ़ी है तो ज्यादा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स उनको मिलेंगे, ज्यादा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स मिलेंगे, व्हिच मींस दे हैव अ stronger say in the parliament or in the state assembly, which means they have more autonomy, which means they have more legislative power. And South Indian states के लिए it's the vice versa. Therefore, they are not very happy with it. ठीक है, that is what delimitation is. Redrawing the boundaries of constituencies, and usually happens after census. ठीक है, आई होप दैट मेक सेंस. पहाड़ों पर क्या कर रहे हो सर? पहाड़ों पे मुझे मजा आता है, लाइफ एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ. और क्या कर रहा हूँ पहाड़ों पे? Charlie saying I want to be like you when I grow up. Aspire for more. Why would you want to be like me? Sir is generally a role model. नहीं यार, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I just enjoy my life, that's it. शिवांश सिंह सर कुड यू सिंग अस अ सॉन्ग प्लीज। हाँ सही बात है, मुशायरा चल रहा है यहाँ पे। अभी मैं गाना गाऊंगा, फिर आप बोलोगे सर कैन यू प्लीज डांस फॉर अस, सर कैन यू प्लीज एक्ट फॉर अस। नहीं, इस इतने पैसे नहीं मिलते मुझे कि मैं गाना भी गाऊं, डांस भी करूं। ठीक है, मुझे सिर्फ आप लोगों से बातचीत करने के पैसे मिलते हैं। अगर मुझे पैसे मिलेंगे गाना गाने के तो आई कैन कंसिडर इट। सो इफ यू वांट सेंड अ सुपर चैट ऑफ 5,000 रुपीज, सुपर चैट मत भेजना, वो मेरे पास नहीं आते हैं पैसे, वो सीएल रख लेता है सारे पैसे। आप मुझे यूपीआई कर सकते हैं मेरे क्यूआर कोड पे, तो फिर मैं आपके लिए गाना गा सकता हूँ। ठीक है, बिकॉज अ वाइज मैन वंस सेड, if you are good at something, never do it for free, and I'm not even good at singing, so why would I do it for free? ठीक है, चलो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करो। स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी सोचा तो है मैंने, कभी ना कभी करूंगा अपने जीवन में, मैं ट्राई लिखूंगा एक कॉमेडी सेट, विल सी। अभी के लिए न्यूज़पेपर की बात स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं, बहुत बातचीत हो गई, लेट्स गेट गोइंग विद द डिस्कशन। Protesters are marching to Jharkhand Assembly. 5 people were injured in the clashes. We already discussed what exactly is happening in Jharkhand. People are protesting against the irregularities in the exam which have been conducted recently by the Jharkhand Public Service Commission and Jharkhand SSC, which is the Staff Selection Commission. तो उसके अगेंस्ट स्टूडेंट्स प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, प्राइमरली स्टूडेंट्स बट अ लॉट ऑफ अदर factions as well. And this has resulted recently in the cancellation of some of these exams which were found to be conducted fraudulently or with irregularities. अब सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन की ये लोग डिमांड कर रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स इसमें। फिलहाल के लिए ईडी इज डूइंग द इन्वेस्टिगेशन बिकॉज देयर आर फाइनेंशियल इरेगुलरिटीज, बट दे आर डिमांडिंग अ सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड देयरफॉर द प्रोटेस्ट इज intensifying even further. That's pretty much what the update is as of now. Right inside, the government is saying they are ready for discussion on the protest. Fair enough. State song must be sung first, states Tamil Nadu House resolution. Now यहाँ पे डिबेट हो रही है वही पहले वंदे मातरम गाया जाएगा या पहले तमिलनाडु का स्टेट सॉन्ग गाया जाएगा। तो तमिलनाडु की जो असेंबली है उन्होंने यूनानिमसली डिसाइड किया थ्रू अ रेजोल्यूशन दैट it would be mandatory to sing the Tamil Thai Vasdu at the beginning of programs which are held by public institutions. This is the Tamil song, Tamil state song कह सकते हो आप, which honors the Tamil language and culture, and it is taken from a text called Manon Maniam. I hope I'm saying it right. Please excuse me if I'm not, it's not my native language. Manon Manian is the work which is done by Manon Manian Sundarnar in 1800s, 1890s, 1891 to be specific, and this is an important symbol of Tamil identity. So उन्होंने डिसाइड ये किया है that this song must be rendered first before programs begin at wherever the programs happen, be it universities, be it educational institutions, be it government offices, be it PSUs, be it other public institutions in Tamil Nadu. And assembly ने कहा है कि भाई we want to give respect to our Tamil language and Tamil culture and Tamil identity. तो इस वजह से हम लोग सबसे पहले अपना तमिल स्टेट सॉन्ग गाएंगे। बाकी थोड़ा और अगर आपको हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड इसका जानना है तो 1970s में तमिलनाडु गवर्नमेंट ने ऑर्डर इशू किया था कि सबसे पहले ये तमिल स्टेट सॉन्ग क्वेश्चन में तब आया था कि हम लोग इसको गवर्नमेंट फंक्शंस पे जाएंगे। फिर 2021 में डीएम के गवर्नमेंट ने इसको स्टेट सॉन्ग का ऑफिशियल टाइटल दिया था। उससे पहले इट वाज जस्ट अ सॉन्ग रिलेटेड टू तमिल आइडेंटिटी। एंड अब जाके जुलाई 26 में होम मिनिस्ट्री ने कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशंस किए रिगार्डिंग दिस सॉन्ग, बट ये रेजोल्यूशन उस बारे में बात नहीं करता है। तो हमारे जो तमिलनाडु के सीएम साहब हैं मिस्टर विजय, उन्होंने ये रेजोल्यूशन मूव किया था एंड इट वाज पास्ड यूनानिमसली। इट वाज अ हिस्टोरिक काइंड ऑफ unanimous vote for passing this particular legislation. So yeah, that's pretty much what is relevant here. Over 100 killed as powerful earthquake strikes Colombia. We'll talk more on this on the PPT. Where exactly did the earthquake have its epicenter? What are the nuances regarding earthquakes? We'll discuss that on the PPT. Series of technical failures preceded 300 feet plunge. Plunge मतलब होता है डुबकी, not technically dubki in this case, more of a drop by Air India flight and probe, which means investigation is continued. So काफी सारे technical failures हो गए इस flight में, flight के control systems में, hydraulic systems में, इसके manual versus autopilot systems में, ये सारे failures हो गए। This flight was flight AI2379. AI stands for Air India, not artificial intelligence. एंड अब जो है एयरक्राफ्ट एक्सीडेंट इन्वेस्टिगेशन ब्यूरो इसकी जांच पड़ताल, इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहा है। ठीक है। On the right hand side, you see rights group call for overhaul in hearings by the apex court, which means Supreme Court, appointed panel on the Aravallis. Aravallis have been in news for quite a while regarding the status of what exactly would be the definition of Aravallis. And इसमें finally Supreme Court भी involved हो गया. So Supreme Court ने क्या किया, एक high powered committee बनाई है to examine the center's report on what should be considered as the part of Aravalli Hill Range and how its boundaries should be defined or delineated. कोर्ट ने कमेटी को कहा है कि जो एम्बिग्विटीज हैं रिगार्डिंग द इकोलॉजिकल कंडीशन ऑफ अरावलीज, रिगार्डिंग हाउ इट अफेक्ट्स पीपल्स लाइव्स, रिगार्डिंग द सोशियो इकोनॉमिक इम्पैक्ट ऑफ इट, ये सारी चीजें आप एनालाइज करो और अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करो. तो अब कमेटी जो है अलग अलग जगह जा रही है एंड लोगों से बातचीत कर रही है, पब्लिक हियरिंग्स कर रही है एंड इनको अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करनी है बाय 31st of August. बट काफी सारे राइट्स ग्रुप जो है खुश नहीं है इस कमेटी से. दे आर सेइंग कि इनको बहुत कम टाइम विंडो दी गई है टू डू अ वेरी लार्ज एंड कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एक्सरसाइज, अ वेरी लार्ज सर्वे. दे आर विजिटिंग जस्ट 9 districts in only 4 days, which is kind of a token tour. मतलब बस कहने को टूर है. They are not exactly taking enough time to address the concerns of the affected communities. And in public hearings, maybe there is a strong lobbying by the mining mafia, कह सकते हो आप, या mining lobby कह सकते हो. वो बहुत ज़्यादा एक तरीके से प्रेजेंट है इन हियरिंग्स पे एंड डोमिनेंट है इन हियरिंग्स में, बिकॉज दे डोंट वांट देयर माइनिंग प्रिविलेजेस टू बी रिवोक्ड. क्योंकि अरावली अगर डिफाइन हो जाएंगे इन अ पर्टिकुलर बाउंड्री और वहाँ पे उस डेफिनेशन में अरावलीज लाई करेंगे तो वहाँ पे माइनिंग अलाउड नहीं करी जाएगी बिकॉज दे हैव टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड. तो जो जो एरिया डेफिनेशन के बाहर होगा वहाँ पर माइनिंग हो सकती है, जो डेफिनेशन के अंडर आ जाएगा वहाँ माइनिंग नहीं हो पाएगी. दैट इज व्हाई द माइनिंग लॉबी इज काइंड ऑफ अगेंस्ट इट. एंड द राइट्स ग्रुप आर सेइंग कि भाई इन्वेस्टिगेशन और ये सर्वे और ये कमेटी की रिपोर्ट अच्छे से नहीं बनाई जा रही है. इट्स बीइंग रश्ड थ्रू, व्हिच इज अ फेयर पॉइंट. ओके, एक बार चार्ट देख लेते हैं हम लोग, फिर आगे चलते हैं. हॉगवर्ट्स हाउसेस की बात चल रही है. वोल्डेमॉर्ट इज अ बॉल्ड बैडी. ओके, फेयर इनफ. Which countries recycle the most plastic? That's a good question. क्या हो गया प्रत्युष भाई, इतने सारे लोगों को आपने अवार्डा के वादरा कर दिया है. अवार्डा के डावरा. Sir, what Hogwarts house are you? See, the other two, no one even knows about them. What are their names? Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. No one gives a damn about those two houses. So it's either gonna be Slytherin or Gryffindor. And आप लोग बताओ, which house should I be in? हिंदी में आता है गरुड़ द्वार एंड नाग शक्ति. किसने देखी हिंदी में हैरी पॉटर? आई हैव वॉच्ड इट इन इंग्लिश एंड इन हिंदी. इट्स वेरी फन इन हिंदी. नाग शक्ति में जो बात है वो स्लिदरिन में है ही नहीं. ठीक है. सर इज डेफिनेटली ग्रिफिंडोर, हफलपफ. ओके. Millie has watched it in Gujarati. Oh my god. Nice. I did not know regional languages में भी Harry Potter dub हो रखी है. I'll have to look for a Punjabi dub of it. I'm sure it would be hilarious. Okay, city-based news is not important. We'll move forward. State-based news में क्या चल रहा है? First round of Manipur government talks with the UNC. Fruitful and icebreaker. UNC का मतलब है United Naga Council. अंक नहीं है जो आप लोग लिंगो यूज करते हो. That guy is an अंक. शॉर्ट फॉर अंकल. नो, यहाँ पे नागा काउंसिल की बात हो रही है. उनके साथ बातचीत स्टार्ट करी है गवर्नमेंट ने. सुवेंदु एडमिट्स पुलिस नेग्लिजेंस इन कस्टोडियल डेथ ऑफ टीएमसी वर्कर. द सीएम, रिसेंटली इलेक्टेड सीएम ऑफ बंगाल, सुवेंदु अधिकारी, सेंटर डिड नॉट से तमिलनाडु स्टेट सॉन्ग मस्ट बी संग लास्ट. ऐसा कह रहे हैं हमारे एएसजी. एएसजी का मतलब है एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल. ठीक है, ये हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, यहाँ पे कुछ नया नहीं है. पंजाब passes 9 bills in a day. Opposition calls it a display of majoritarian arrogance. Majoritarian इसलिए क्योंकि उनके पास numbers हैं and they can easily pass a bill even though the opposition does not want. ठीक है, मेघालय डिस्ट्रिक्ट काउंसिल ओकेज अमेंडमेंट टू बार नॉन ट्राइबल्स फ्रॉम पोल प्रोसेस। इसका मतलब ये उनके लिए सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट प्रोसेस बनाया जाएगा ताकि ट्राइबल्स के कंसर्न्स अलग से सुने जा सकें। एसपी fears BSP the most. SP Samajwadi Party, BSP is Bahujan Samaj Party. Both of these are political parties associated primarily to Uttar Pradesh. BSP is headed by Mayawati. SP is headed by Akhilesh Yadav and her wife Dimple Yadav. Okay. Supreme Court to hear Tamil Nadu's plea on Kaveri dispute this week. Kaveri dispute we have discussed many a times. No point discussing it once again. Dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, we are all aware, river water sharing dispute. Man dies after assault by Kavariyas over mishap. That's unfortunate. Fifth of Tamil Nadu voters face exclusions. Any reflects SC retire. This is all politics. PMLA case after conviction for predicate offense doesn't amount to, like, not important for us. Karnataka has 6805 charging stations for EV, second highest in the country. Okay. The state has the highest. Maharashtra has the highest. All right. Okay, editorial section. English in India, will discuss this one on the PPT. Case for consensus. This again talks about delimitation, on how the government needs to build a consensus on delimitation. Consensus means an agreement between all the states that delimitation has to be done or does not have to be done. They have to reach an agreement. As of now, the things have reached a stalemate or an impasse, if you could say, because the opposition parties, especially the South Indian states based political parties, are not very happy with the delimitation process for reasons I recently explained to you. And author यही कहते हैं कि that this is Parliament is becoming more of an obstacle rather than a place for discussion and consensus building. And simply having enough MPs to pass something does not, mean that you have democratic consensus. Just because technically you can pass a law does not mean in spirit that is the right thing to do. And he says that both the government and the opposition may claim political victories during a confrontation, but the larger loser is the country at large. It is parliamentary democracy at large. एंड इसी वजह से जो है साथ मिलके काम करना चाहिए. दे शुड फॉर्म सम कंसेंसस ऑन द डिलिमिटेशन एक्सरसाइज. फेयर इनफ. ठीक है, आगे देखते हैं क्या है. डू नॉट राइट द obituary of international law yet. This we'll discuss on the PPT. International law के बारे में. Reference site tracking nurses, this we discussed yesterday itself. Nursing data has not been registered on the portal which the government has made. How personality cults derail democracy. Personality cult का मतलब होता है कि एक इंसान के अराउंड, एक पर्सनालिटी के अराउंड एक कल्ट बन जाए, एक ग्रुप बन जाए, एक फैनेटिक लोगों का वो बन जाए फैक्शन, जो फिर पॉलिटिक्स को डीरेल कर दे, एक तरीके से डेमोक्रेसी को डीरेल कर दे. तो ये ओपिनियन पीस है, टॉक्स अबाउट डेमोक्रेसी, पर्सनालिटी कल्ट्स एंड व्हाई सिटीजन शुड नॉट blindly worship political leaders. She starts off by giving an example of Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1937, Nehru wrote an essay called The Rashtrapati in a newspaper called The Modern Review, and he published it anonymously under the name Chanakya. So he did not use his name. At that time, he was, although extremely popular and seen as the symbol of Indian freedom struggle, but still he chose to, write anonymously because he did not want his popularity to sway the movement. Now he was worried about people might start worshipping him as a great leader or vice versa, benevolent dictator, instead of building strong democratic institutions. So his argument essentially was India might function under a powerful leader, but its democracy and citizens would become stunted, or they would not be able to fully develop or grow. And he had seen the rise of such dictators, case in point being Hitler, case in point being Mussolini, who were contemporaries. And he was of course not very happy about it. So article यही कहता है कि democracy threaten हो जाती है when a leader, a political leader, becomes way too powerful, and that is not good. Hero worship is not good, and that is what she goes on to justify using Nehru's example. She also gives you an example of B.R. Ambedkar. She talks about how in 1949, in a speech to the Constituent Assembly, which was drafting our constitution, B.R. Ambedkar warned against bhakti or hero worship in politics. And his argument was that devotion may have a place in religion, but politics needs accountability. Politics need scrutiny. And essentially, they were giving the same warning: कि don't transfer your judgment to a leader. A citizen's job in a democracy is not to worship a leader, but to question the leader, to scrutinize the leader, to hold them accountable. जो कि आज के सिनारियो में थोड़ा सा वो है, क्या कहते हैं, प्रॉब्लमेटिक है. तो क्यों है प्रॉब्लमेटिक, इसकी डिटेल में हम लोग नहीं जाएंगे. ये थोड़ा सा रिस्की हो सकता है इसके बारे में बात करना. मैं नहीं चाहता कि हमारी स्ट्रीम बैन हो जाए. बट essentially what the argument is that institutions are more important than individuals. The constitutional values are more important, the democratic values are more important. Instead of worshipping a leader as a hero or as a god or as someone who was born unnaturally out of a miracle by god. So yeah, interesting point. बाकी और भी दो तीन एग्जांपल्स इन्होंने यूज किया. अच्छा आर्टिकल है, आप लोग पढ़ना चाहो तो पढ़ सकते हो. इट्स नाइस आर्टिकल. ठीक है. अर्षिता इज हियर. गुड इवनिंग. काफी लेट हो गए. वाज ईटिंग दाल वड़ास फॉर डिनर. ऑलराइट, आई होप यू हैड अ गुड डिनर. ठीक है. इस चैट से ठीक है, हैरी पॉटर की बातें चल रही है चैट बॉक्स में. ओके, आगे चलते हैं हम लोग. लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. 10 मिनट ही बचे हैं हमारे पास. वैसे तो न्यूज़पेपर भी हमने ऑलमोस्ट खत्म कर ही लिया है. UPI and the cost of policy reversal, we have discussed this. Jharkhand battling paper leaks, exam cancellations for 26 years, ऐसा कह रहे हैं protesters. This is all politics again. Tribunals reforms bill passed amid din in Lok Sabha. So इस वाले बिल की थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं. This passed without a proper debate, and opposition MPs were protesting and demanding that the Home Minister should come to the House and make a statement because of the police brutality. And bill के बारे में बता देता हूँ. The proposal of the bill is to create a national tribunals commission. Tribunal क्या होता है? Tribunal is a specialized body which decides certain disputes रिगार्डिंग स्पेसिफिक एरियाज. जैसे टैक्सेशन का अलग से ट्रिब्यूनल, एक तरीके से आपने कोर्ट बना दिया. एम्प्लॉयमेंट का अलग ट्रिब्यूनल बना दिया. कंपनी लॉ का अलग ट्रिब्यूनल बना दिया. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ एवरी डिस्प्यूट गोइंग थ्रू द रेगुलर कोर्ट सिस्टम, ट्रिब्यूनल्स कैन हैंडल दी स्पेसिफिक कैटेगरी ऑफ केसेस. तो अब ये कमीशन करेगा क्या? ये प्रपोज्ड कमीशन, नेशनल ट्रिब्यूनल्स कमीशन, वुड ओवरसी मैटर्स रिलेटेड टू ट्रिब्यूनल मेंबर्स, including appointment of members to tribunals, their qualifications, their salaries, their allowances, their tenure, their resignation, their removal, their service conditions. तो ट्रिब्यूनल के जो भी मेंबर्स होंगे उनकी ये सारी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव चीजें रेगुलेट करेगा ताकि एक यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम बनाया जा सके ट्रिब्यूनल्स के लिए. इस कमीशन में 5 मेंबर्स होंगे, 1 चेयरपर्सन, 2 जुडिशियल मेंबर्स एंड 2 टेक्निकल मेंबर्स. द चेयरपर्सन कैन ईदर बी अ रिटायर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज और अ रिटायर्ड चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ अ हाई कोर्ट. एंड इसका हेडक्वार्टर होगा न्यू दिल्ली में. अब इतना जानना आई थिंक अभी के लिए काफी है इस पर्टिकुलर बिल के लिए. जब एक्ट बन जाएगा तो और बात करेंगे इसकी. बाकी हाँ, इतना काफी है अभी के लिए. ठीक है. यहाँ पे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. बांग्लादेश कह रहा है कि शेख हसीना जी को फटाफट भेज दो वापस इंडिया से. सुप्रीम कोर्ट प्रपोजेस स्पेशल कोर्ट्स फॉर वायलेंस केसेस इन मणिपुर. ओके, ठीक है. वंदे मातरम टू बी संग एट रेड फोर्ट ड्यूरिंग इंडिपेंडेंस डे सेरेमनी. ऑलराइट, ठीक है. यहाँ पे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. मुश्ताबा खमीनी ने थोड़े से चेंजेस किए हैं ईरान की टॉप लीडरशिप में. ट्रम्प डिमांड्स वॉर कॉम्पेंसेशन. 13 killed in यूक्रेनियन स्ट्राइक. Alright, India's move to label places in Arunachal is illegal, ऐसा कह रहा है चाइना. SAI and BAI go allowed to ensure a hassle-free world championship. Okay. ठीक है. और स्पोर्ट्स में आज कुछ ऐसा सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है. We can get back to our PPT, finish off the PPT, and then we'll jump to the other session, which is the strategy session. English in India, a language that has earned its place. What makes a language Indian? A recent observation by court has revived the debate over whether English can be considered as an indigenous language of India. The debate over the place of English in India has often been framed as a contest between English and Indian languages. The strongest objection to English as an Indian language is that it arrived with the Britishers. It was introduced for administrative purposes, for commerce, for missionary activity, Christian activities, and what the colonial rulers called as civilizing mission. In its early history, English undoubtedly served the interest of the British Empire. Yet, the languages cannot be permanently imprisoned by the circumstances of their arrival. Their identities are reshaped by the people who speak them. Once it entered India, Indians appropriated it, that means adopted it, transformed it, and made it serve Indian aspirations rather than colonial objectives. By the early 19th century, English had already become an instrument of Indian political and intellectual expression. In 1823, Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his associates submitted one of their petitions in English defending the freedom of Indian language press in Calcutta. Later in the century, Dadabhai Nauroji marshaled the famous drain theory in English to expose the economic exploitation of India and British rule. Swami Vivekananda addressed educated India in English through his celebrated lecture, My Plan campaign, something like that. Delivered in Madras in 1897, Mahatma Gandhi himself translated Hind Swaraj into English, recognizing that the language could carry Indian ideas to both national and international audiences. To deny English a place in India, in some measure, to overlook the contribution of generation of Indians who employed the language to articulate nationalism, reforms, and cultural renaissance. After independence, it found a place. The Constituent Assembly debates on the language question adopted a balanced resolution moved by K.M. Munshi and N. Gopalswamy Iyengar. It recognized Hindi as the official language of the Union and retained English for official purposes. Over subsequent decades, English has become one of the principal languages of Indian academic and administrative domains, including but not limited to legislature, executive, judiciary, and we have recognized English as a language of Indian creativity. साहित्य अकेडमी अवार्ड भी दिया जाने लगा फिर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के लिए. इंडियन राइटिंग इन इंग्लिश हैज डेवलप्ड इनटू वन ऑफ द richest literary traditions in post-colonial world. We have authors like R.K. Narayan, Mulk Raj Anand, Amitav Ghosh, Vikram Seth, and a lot of others who show that English can express Indian experiences with authenticity, subtlety, and artistic distinction. It is often argued that only a small section of Indians speak English. That's not true. Census up to 2011 shows that 129 million Indians chose English as a first, second, or third language. These numbers make us one of the largest English-speaking countries in the world. Nearly 260,000 people reported English to be their mother tongue. A whopping 83 million identified it as their second language. 46 million spoke it as their third language. Scholars observe that the number of Indians who possess at least functional knowledge of English may well be in the range of 180 to 250 million. And ये 2011 के stats हैं. They show that English has become the language of aspiration for a large segment of Indian society. ठीक है. Colombia earthquake की बात कर लेते हैं. 111 people were killed and 87 injured in Colombia on Monday when a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the Latin American country, leaving a lot of cities ravaged and trapping residents under debris of hundreds of collapsed buildings while their loved ones and rescue workers searched through the rubble. The highest magnitude earthquake in Colombia in the last decade was followed by two aftershocks of magnitude 2.8 and 4.8. The US Geological Survey reported the tremors epicenter in San Jose del Palmar, about 400 kilometers west of the capital, Bogota. The tremors were felt in neighboring countries like Ecuador and Panama, though minimal damage was reported. Earthquake की बात करें तो simply the shaking of the earth, a natural event caused by release of energy which generates waves that can travel in directions. The vibrations called seismic waves are generated from earthquake that travel through the earth and are recorded on instruments called seismographs. The location below the earth's surface where the earthquake starts is called the hypocenter, and the location directly above it on the surface is called the epicenter. There are three zones in which earthquakes are divided: shallow, intermediate, and deep based on their depth. 0 to 70, 70 to 300, and 300 to 700 kilometers. And the last one is regarding international law. Is international law really dying? The question has become difficult to ignore. Ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, instability in West Asia, violence against people, inability of these institutions to respond effectively have led people to conclude that they are no longer relevant. But it was premised on the idea that relation between state should be governed not merely by power but by rules and legal principles built on consensus. When wars take place, the effectiveness is naturally exposed to scrutiny, but it is too early to write an obituary. Obituary मतलब death जब हो जाती है तो you notify the death. That is an obituary for international law. Paradoxically, wars actually demonstrate why international law still matters. Had it been irrelevant, states concerned would not bother to justify their actions by referring to international law. They invoke the UN Charter, sovereignty, territorial integrity, self-defense, and international humanitarian law. The quiet accomplishments of international law are visible every day. Aircrafts fly over international boundaries because states comply with the aviation regulations. Ships sail across seas because of international maritime law. Diplomacy functions because governments observe established legal norms. Trade, communication, travel continue because states honor thousands of international obligations. Even as armed conflicts continue to dominate headlines, states still negotiate multilateral legal agreements. Reality is that this has never been perfect. It has always coexisted with political realities and has been frequently condemned for reflecting unequal power structures. Recent conflicts have reinforced these criticisms, revealing the structural limitations within the UN Security Council and the broader international legal order. ठीक है vocab for the day. The first word is frazzle. Frazzle means एकदम थक हार जाना, completely exhausted, fatigue, lethargy. The meeting left me completely frazzled. Refreshment, energy, rejuvenation are antonyms. Saison is the next word, which means to distinguish, to discern, to point out differences between two things. Confound and mingle are antonyms, and still less is he able to discern the truth from the falsehood. The last word is interdict. Interdict मतलब होता है किसी चीज पे बैन लगाना, authoritative prohibition लगाना, embargo लगाना. Allowing, permission granting are antonyms. Troops could be ferried into interdict drug shipments. So interdict is a prohibition. Saison is to differentiate, distinguish, discern, and frazzle is exhaustion, fatigue. With that, we wrap up this discussion of the Hindu analysis for today. I'll see you guys on the other link on the AILET strategy session. I urge and request all of you to kindly join that particular session. If you are even planning 1% to appear for the AILET exam, even if you are not, you can still ask your strategy related questions, even if they are CLAT oriented. I'll be happy to answer them. See you guys on that session in the next 1 to 2 minutes. Chalo, bye bye. आ जाओ वहां पे दूसरे लिंक पे. टाटा. आज ही है तुरंत, अभी क्या अभी.